Hello. So, this video we're going to be making a UI HUD, like a futuristic one. We'll just go for something really simple. We won't spend too much time on it. Short video, but yeah, we'll just create some graphics. Let's get started. So, axis. Let's get a sphere. Scale that up by color solid. Let's go into the material stage editor. Let me make sure I am recording. Texture. We want a base with an alpha, loader, and we're going to choose, let's choose a gradient. Let's go for one of these gradients here. Now we can change the spacing, so by adjusting that gradient. So if you want, maybe you want fewer. So maybe we tighten this up a little. There we go. Tighten this one up. That'll do for now. We can adjust the UV mapping on this. So if we go to UV mapping 2D UV0 and make sure we have it, turn it from simple clamp to simple wrap. Scale that. Nice effect. Now we can animate this, go through the Y if we want, like this. Let's take a look how it looks, rotate it. Yeah, it's good. Cool. I like that. That looks cool already, right? So let's get the mover to that. Let's just do linear. You can pop that out if you want. 1 -1. Change that speed. Yeah, or maybe we went the other way. 1 to -1. Oh, that's kind of cool. If you want, is it jump? Trying to see if this jumps or if it loops. I hope it loops. Should loop. Anyway, you can see here it's a bit tessellated, so you can increase that tessellation, get it smoother. That's looking good. Okay, so it doesn't jump. Okay, so let's create like a mask, like a triangle mask. Axes. Grab a geometry. This we're going to use a circle. Scale this up in the scale factor. Reduce the tessellation. Triangle. So the segment to 1. Rotate this to however you want. Let's do -90. So this will be our like mask for this. We will use a stencil test and set. Test set. It might be the other way around. We'll see in a second. 1 and 1. Put that above. There we go. Now we want to invert that mask, so we only have what we see in the triangle. So this is our triangle here. We can name this triangle. Try. Speed. You can name these masks as well if you want. I'm going to duplicate this triangle, place it above. Oh, sorry, below, because it's the bottom of the tree is top. It's whatever goes on top. Place a hole in it. So we're gonna have now frame. It's kind of cool frame now. So now we can move this sphere around. Let's add the triangle. We can animate this, you know. You're just creating some kind of weird sci-fi stuff, you know. Like a hut almost. Oh, I'm trying there anyway. I just have to make sure I'm gonna drop frames. Trick the OBS. Looking good. Sometimes I get drop frames, so just making sure. Oh, it looks okay. So add some little details in here. So let's duplicate this triangle again. And then let's like maybe make it bigger. Just make the line a little bit thinner. What I'm gonna do is just group all of this so I can move this all up. I just want to move them all up. So just put one axis just to, you know, scale it down a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna apply some materials, so solid colors on these. Solid color. I'll knock the opacity down on this small one. Maybe I'll bring the scale in. Just a tiny bit like that. I'm not sure how easy it is to see on the video, maybe due to compression but there is a thin line there. On this circle here, I want to change the angle. Maybe something like this. And then what we can do is we've got a mover to have it animate around. Let me just bump up that opacity just in case you can't see it. I'll bump it up for now and then we can look better. On the angle start, and we can do linear 360 or minus 360 clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever you prefer. We can see. I'll go for clockwise. Did I choose? I don't know which one to press. Anyway, you can see here. Okay. Yeah, I went clockwise. And we can change that speed so it's nice and slow. There we go. So we've got some kind of movements. Just using movers. Nothing fancy. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Unnecessary calls. Unnecessary call. You know how it is. Okay, so let's add additional elements, like some little elements here. So let's duplicate this, just reuse this triangle because this seems to be working for us. So we got this. So let's change some of these properties. So let's the angle and that. Right now it's the angle starts moving, but we don't need it to, so we can delete that mover. And let's reset the tessellation so we have a circle. Reset that hole. Let's do something like this. Maybe reduce the tessellation a little bit because it's going to be a lot smaller, so we don't need that many polys on it. Like that. And scale it, and we'll just position it somewhere. Just wherever you want. It's kind of abstract, kind of some abstracting. I'm going to just adjust this hole a little bit. And then you can have a few of these, so I'm just going to do, maybe I'll create a group like this, place them all in and just call these dots, or yeah, I'll just call dots, little dots, you know, dot, 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 dots. Yeah. Okay. Make sure caps off. There we go. Right. Actually, that might be interesting. Let's try something with these two dots. Duplicate this actually. So let's block this one for now. We have original. Maybe I want this to kind of rotate in here. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna just reset the transformation for now. Let's block this. Let's block these for now. Just so we don't focus on these two. I'm just trying to try something. I'm gonna scale them up so we can see them better. Okay. So we have one within the other. I'll make it, let's scale this one down a tiny bit, adjust that whole size. I want this to kind of go round, so I'm going to do change the X position. Oh, not this one. So this is the inner dot. Let's call this inner. This is the outer. Okay. So the inner, I'm gonna just push it in, something like that. So what? Let's say 2. Okay, 2. So what we need to do is offset the rotation center of the X to -2. So we got 2 in the X, so we have to get that rotation center point, we need to set the rotation center to -2. So now when you rotate along the Z, looks like it's going in here. And now we can apply mover to this. Making it counterclockwise on this maybe. And slow it down. Yes, nice little widget animation, you know, just something simple. We can put an axis on these two. And then we can like scale that. Let's turn everything back on. And we can like move this around. Something like this. Very abstract right now, so apologize if it's not. Yeah, there's no, just kind of making it up as we go along. Maybe that speed, we should speed it up, I don't know. Speed it up a tiny bit. Still feels slow. Okay, that looks alright. Yeah. Perhaps we have another circle and then this goes around that circle. That might be interesting. Yeah, we can experiment. So let's try it. Let's go around, grab this outer circle here. Let's reset this axis point and scale this one so slightly bigger. So this could, yeah, that might work. We'll increase the tessellation a tiny bit. Or reset that and then just increase that. So it's smoother, we don't have jagged edges. We have this thin line. Now I want these two, so I'm going to need an axis for these two. Make sure these two are less than 0. So where is this? Oh yeah, there it is. So I'm going to offset that. There we go. So now this is what, 37.2. Let's do 37.25. 37.25. Okay, so our rotation center on the X will be minus 37.25. Now we'll rotate that. Now we've got this cool rotation. So we have multiple things going on. Yeah. Okay, let's rotate. Put this on a. Well, this is going. That one's going clockwise. Let's make this one go. Oh, that one's going counterclockwise. Make this one go clockwise. Okay. Let's pop that mover out so we can see the speed. Okay. Change that duration. you want, you can duplicate these perhaps, I don't know, and then offset those, I don't know. Experiment. You wanna say you wanna click on that and then click on this. You can change the offset here. There you go. Perhaps we wanna scale this up. Oh. Getting a bit interesting. There you go. I don't know. Nah, it looks kind of off the let's scale this up, does it? Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Okay, perhaps I don't need this one, so delete the one. Lucky I duplicate. I was supposed to delete this static one. No problem. Just duplicate. There we go. Let's offset this rotation. And let's change this outer circle. We can change that, maybe angle start. And let's put opacity down on that. Looking interesting. Set up. Perhaps I want this one. Is this the one? Yeah. Let's find which one it is. Is this one? Yeah, this is the one. I want this one to rotate with this. There we go. That moves along with it. Actually, let's put that angle start like that. We've got that little gap there. There you go. Cool. It's a really simple geometry, nothing complicated so far. We could add some additional lines and all sorts. So let's do that. Start some stuff. It's been a while since I've done a tutorial or like a little let's make something video, so apologize. I'll try to make more of these. We have a rectangle. I'm just kind of just making it up as I go along, but yeah, feel free to do the same, like just design something or make it up as you go along. It doesn't matter. There's no right and wrong when we create something. Perhaps I'll say let's do that. Let's have that move like this. Let's just put a linear 100. Pop that mover out. It's not going to be really 100 then. Let's say 0.6. 0.4. 0.4 looks good. Yeah, to 0, and we want it to swing. Let's swing. There we go. And let's do like cosine or something. There we go. Looks a bit smoother. A bit more, Just slow that speed down. Just increase that duration maybe. Now if you want, you can even get a spreader. Hit spacebar, or you can go to tools. Spacebar shortcut for searching for specific things. Or you can go to tools and then go to world and spread and toolbars in the toolbox. Yeah. So now I'm just using the spreader. I can mirror this if I want to scale it. Yeah. You can increase that count if you want. Right now we've got a count of 2, so we can create something cool like this and fade it out. time. You can move this around, so you can, you know. Put it where it looks cool, where you think will fit. Right now, I don't know where this will fit. I'm just going to try different things. Perhaps I'll do this at -90. Kind of like that. Or maybe at the bottom. Let's see. Yeah, I like it at the bottom. Kind of connects that triangle. Okay. Let's add some text and stuff, some numbers, axes. Let's use text 2D, block text. There it is right there. Let's go to logic tab, in the toolbox, variables. Let's get floats. We're just going to link that to our float. So text to our float. So right now it'll be 0 because your float's 0. You can put whatever value you want in there. I'm just going to scale this up right now. Position this. Okay. Yeah, mover. Now you can put random values, so I'm going to put like some big values here, like 50,000 or whatever, and then I don't know, it could be 80,000, whatever you want, really, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say random, so it's random. Now I have a random value every time from that mover. Link the float to the mover, bam, and we get random. You can change the speed if you want it quicker or slower, up to you. Experiment. Maybe you have some that go at different speeds. I'll place this something like here. Let's get a group. Let's group these. There we go. Duplicate this. There you go. Perhaps we want longer values. Maybe add a few zeros on this one. There we go. Something so it's a bit more different, but and then you can of course increase that speed, so different speeds if you want. So right here I saw that was cutting in, so I'm just going to shift that one up. There we go. Now let's move this whole thing back. Kind of cool, but there's no depth really. It's all flat, so perhaps I want to add some depth by pushing things forward and backwards, you know, just add a little bit of depth. So perhaps these elements here, I'll just select them and change the Z, push these forward, these numbers, and then we've got the lines. I mean, the lines can stay on that layer. That I like it connecting to that triangle. Perhaps these circles, these rings. So I may have to move these forward in Z space. Like that. There we go. So if we take a look now, a little bit of depth, and let's offset these two. So find this outer one, push this back. And then if we, for example, if we change now the scale on the Z, but you can see, then you can make that extrude, like over exaggerate those positions by changing just the Z scale. But remember, it will distort what, like elements like you can see on the sphere where it's getting stretched. So just be aware of that. I feel like we should have more things going on with this ring, because the ring looks kind of boring right now. So these two rings here. So maybe we will, well, let's make that line thicker. Change the angle start. Let's apply spreader in front of that circle. No. Rotate Z. And then just push the Z scale. Increase the count. Oh, we got something interesting. There we go. The factor fades. Kind of like that. We could experiment as well. We could experiment and see what happens when we drop that tessellation. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. It's hexagon. I like the hexagon kind of look with the triangle and then the circle. It's like it starts off as 3, then we go to 6, and then we got a smooth circle. That's kind of cool. Yes, this looks a bit more interesting. What we can do is animate that. And do all kinds of cool stuff. So you could animate this on if you wanted to animate it in, maybe. I don't know if you. So you press the button and then your UI comes alive. You could animate elements like this, or you could, all sorts. Again, let's use a move on this angle start. Let's go counterclockwise, pop that mover out. Yeah, perhaps a bit quicker. Nothing fancy, but it kind of works. Now with these lines here, I'm thinking maybe I could do something a bit more interesting with those. So I want to position these and scale them down. So what's this? Minus 14.56. Okay, so let's change that rotation center of the Y. Actually, let's do the X instead. X will be easy. Let's do the X and then reset that rotation there. So let's say 15. Okay, 15, and then offset will be minus 15. So now we rotate along the X here. Got this. What happens if we now rotate this spread? No, spread the spreader again. So get another spreader and spread this. See, I don't know what happened. Nope. I want to place it in front of the axis. There you go. Now we can have them going along the edges. So increase that count, and now that they should, follow that ring. There you go, perfect. Let's say 6. Let's do 6. It looks like one for each corner. It's kind of cool. And then you can always go in here and then play around with these values. Yeah, and you see I'm offsetting that spread, and then let's change that Y thickness. You can make it thinner or bigger or whatever you want. I feel that the value is too high. Let's say I want it really small, but I think 0.1. 0.1 looks okay. And it says 0.3. No, so 0.05. Let's do 2. Yeah, so it's not 0, but we got something. That looks kind of cool. And then if you want, you could apply the factor to that as well. And, or whatever you want. Right. I'm gonna try experiment. Even, or maybe that. Like that. Okay. So now the sphere itself, perhaps we want to have it do something a bit more interesting, or so maybe let's have it bounce inside or something and roll around, or you know, have some kind of movement going on in here. Let's just do linear 0 to 100 for now. And we just those values. So make sure you have it on, what is it? Swing. Let's swing. Tick swing. Change those values, so increase that. Cosine. So a little bit better. There you go. And then you can adjust that speed and then the scale, how much you want. Now let's add another mover. Say let's say we want the rotation. I kind of like that, so maybe I wanna just have it kind of rotate along here. On the Y? Yeah, let's do the Y. There you go. Let's pop that one out. Y rotation. I want this really slow. Go. Maybe that's too slow. We can add a background layer, so I'm just going to go up here to the top left. The camera might be blocking it, but just 2D layer. I'm just going to drop a gradient background behind. And just adjust the gradient by clicking on the little icon. Then you get the color gradients. I don't know if I should go for there we go. That kind of looks cool. It's a little tint, tiny tint there, so it's not just completely dark. Okay, so we kind of got something going on. What happens if we spread that again? Let's just do it. See what it looks like, you know. Might be happy with the result. Bring that forward in the Z space. So when we do that, when we notice the masks, because we extended the masks, that might be an issue, but as long as they don't overlap, then it's fine. But just gotta be aware of that. Oh. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, that looks cool. So, I mean, you could create a of cool effects, I guess. But no, I'm not gonna use that. Just keep it as it is. Let's add some little lines, maybe that draw out some, you know. So let's get an axis. So on this rectangle, I want it aligned to the left. So when we scale on the Y, you'll see in a second, it goes from the left. So, okay. So we're going to create a little animation, and then we'll loop that animation. So let's add a keyframe animation now. We're going to need 2 of these, so we're going to need, yeah, 2. Let's do 2 for now. Keep it really simple. So if I shift this across now, I've got 2, and we can just determine how far we want that to go. Sure, this is set to 1. Set that. Okay, so that will go from there. So this is the first one. We're going to animate this X scale on this, and then this X scale on this one as well. So we'll link these to our animations. Go to our timeline. I'm just going to shift this across. Go set key. So they both start at 0. That's just fine. And I'm going to jump to second. Make sure you're working in seconds. There you go. I like to work in seconds. Depends on how you want. You can change it if you want to work frames, 60 frames or whatever you want, 25 frames or 30. I like to work in seconds. Actually, let's go to like 0.8. And then set that to like 1. And then I'll scale that up actually. You see. Where does this one start? So this one starts about here. So this is where this one ends, and then this one continues. Okay. Nice. Now all we have to do is just offset the keyframes. So now it'll look like, yeah. Now we don't want it to pause, and we don't want this to be slow because the distance to consider. So I'm gonna just overlap that time a bit. There we go. So it shouldn't look like it pauses. Yeah, I mean it does. Let's go to the timeline. Select these keys. Set it to linear. There we go. Now we just gotta make sure that doesn't overlap. There you go. Should be a nice smooth animation. Now what you can do is, because we put that on there, change the pivot of the rotation. There, bam. Now got little, you know, those call out line things you call, I don't know what they are, but yeah. So we could put an axis on this group these together. So it allows us to move this around. See, so now if I reset this back to the center. Maybe push this in and scale this down. There you go. So let's maybe scale this down a bit smaller. There you go. So we can add additional text here or a little box, whatever you want. Cool. So how do you make that animation loop? Like for example, if you wanted this animation to loop, there's plenty of ways of doing it. Easiest way I find is just to use like a simple control. Take the control of the animation from the keyboard and drop it in the simple control, which will then say 0 to 100, and just apply a mover, linear. It's doing 0 to 100. But if you pop out the mover, which you always find the mover is in the animation as well, by the way. But you can also hover over the values, and you see you get that wiggly line that will allow you to apply a mover to it. Anyway, Just change that to swing. Tick swing. Now it's a bit smoother, and maybe cosine. And just change speeds, adjust the speeds to what you want. Perhaps you don't want it to swing and you just want it to kind of like, it depends on what you want. And yeah, depends on how you're doing the animation. But yeah, I'll leave it on swing and then just slow it down. There you go. I'm going to just duplicate this bit of text, place it here, and scale this up. You just have some additional random info, nothing fancy. Yeah. Let's make another interesting one more little widget. I want to keep it really short, but not to overcomplicate things. Kind of make it up as we go along, but also name stuff when you get the chance. It's always good to name. So you know what's what. So that if I say, oh, what's this? Okay, these are the dash lines or something. You know, for example, something you can recognize, or you know, when you pass it over to somebody. For example, say that was data or something. Data, you know, could be data, whatever you want. You know. And then call this the pull out line. Pull out lines. There you go. And so on. Anyway, make sure you name stuff. It's always good to name your hierarchy, everything. I'm a bit rusty with making this video, I feel, but yeah, I'll try. Anyway, let's make another little widget thing or something. So let's get an axis, another geometry. Let's do another circle. This one will be a bit more interesting. So I'm going to position it here on the right, so you can see. Maybe here. Let's put a hole in it. Okay. Get a second to duplicate this. Let's rotate this. There we go. Something like this. I'm thinking if we do something like that, that might work. So let's get a color. Solid. So let's place these both under the solid color. Okay. So now when we rotate. So you see here it disappears and we want to see the back face. So what you can do, go on the material. Z buffing. Draw mode, the little squiggly line. Turn it to solid. And where it says back face, there's none. So now you see both sides. What? Not sure why that disappeared. Okay, apparently it's facing the wrong way. No problem. Right, just change it to -80. There you go. So now we can see this. Now I want a bit of thickness on this when it rotates, so maybe I'll change this to a cylinder. There we go. And I'll change the cylinder property, so I'll place a hole in it. Change the Z scale. Just adjust that hole. Scale this down a tiny bit. And then you can have this. So now it looks like you got a sphere where this thing's, you know, there's something in it. Pretty simple, nothing complicated. You could just put a counterclockwise mover on it, you know, so it's kind of like a ball kind of thing. I don't know what you call it. Whatever you want to use. You can like play around with the look of that. Add some thickness to that, or change that ball. I like that. I feel it's too fast, so I'm going to put that rotation mover on the rotation. Change the speed. Perhaps I'll go try drop a spreader on this. Drop a spreader, see what happens, see what it looks like. What's the harm? You might get something you like. Let's increase that count. Yeah, because the offset is well off, so that won't work. Or at scale. Scaling kind of interesting, but I don't think it will do. It will work. Actually, place the on the that will work. Place it after the axis, and then you have. Then when you scale now, there we go. Now you can play around with the fade and get this kind of cool look. If I do this. Anyway, I think I'll end it here. There's nothing too fancy, hopefully. I mean, it's really simple. If you want, then you can add your post effects. You can keep on building layers, just keep on putting stuff on or simplifying it or add little graphics to it or data, anything or something that has meaning. I don't know. But right now, this is just some abstract sci-fi HUD thing, you know. Could just be background element just to make something a little more fancy than it is. It's not really relevant. Yeah, but then you can animate. I mean, we didn't animate much. We just used movers. But say for example, let's animate this sphere opening up or something. So what we could do is get keyframe animation. Say we want to scale all on this. We want to scale this. Okay. Oh, I'll do whatever I did. Disconnect the scaler. Okay. Reset that. Fix that position. Okay. Because I linked the scaler to the mover, which I didn't mean to. Yeah. So we've got animation here. So let's say this is our end frame. This is what we want it to end on. This little sphere. Seconds. Yeah, 1 second. Set key. Then set those to 0, and that's 0. Set key. So it kind of grows out. You could do stuff like that. So you could this one's slightly delayed and this one's quicker. There you go. What I'm gonna do is set 2 states. New state. New state. Click on the animation now. Got next. Previous. What I'm gonna do is add the bounding box. Or volume. Try to say volume. I'll just place it here. If I turn my wireframe on. See, there it is right there. So let's get an axis. This is just a little bit going a bit extra unnecessary, but you want to make it interactive. So I'll just say this is the bounding area for this bounding box, and let's just use a touch button. So interaction, touch button. Depending on what you're using, your hardware, touchscreen, or it'll vary what type of touch you go with. So we use the next, for example, single tap because we're using the mouse. You can depending on your touchscreen, could be touch enter, touch leave, it could be touch begin, it could even be single tap with Windows, Windows touch. So that which works the same as the mouse, but yeah, I'll just single tap. So now click it, next, previous, previous. So that, there we go. Oh, my bad. I should have done the loop thing, but anyway, you get the idea. Here we go, the next. There you go. Previous, next, previous. Click on it. I'll delete the wrong one, but yeah, Hopefully you understand. I've done buttons many times. Next and previous. You gotta fix the logic, but you can link those to buttons and, you know, trigger that. So if I say single tap, next, bam. Yeah, there you go. But hopefully I'll start making videos again. Apologies for this one being a bit, you know, basic, but I'll get back into it. If you want, you can probably move on this rotation like a little tilt. Let's just get that mover on. Bam. Pop that mover out. Let's say -8 to 8. And swing. There you go. But yeah, you can keep on adding stuff to it, like I said. Anyway, just hopefully this for people doing basic beginners. You know, we didn't create anything fancy. We used all the built-in tools, all the built-in geometry, the built-in textures. So yeah, do experiment, you know, try different things. Just like click on stuff, say, oh, what happens if I drop a movie clip on say this triangle? I don't know. And then, you know, load a clip in. So see, I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'll just use anything but this flying tower thing. But yeah, now there's a clip on there, but I can't see it. So hey, let me change that whole size. There you go. There's a clip on there. So maybe I'll duplicate this so we don't lose it. Delete that one. Scale this one up. Have this loop. Restart that clip. And get rid of the light model to no light. And change the hole. And looks cool anyway, but hey, position this right to the back, I'd say. But yeah, you gotta get the idea. Maybe give this a little tint so it's not so bright, so you can see the HUD over the video. You know, just, you know, you can just take whatever you want, experiment, try the different nodes, see what they do. Click on the documentation. Probably not the best video I use, but the best example clip I just used there, or whatever the best node for this design or whatever it is. But yeah, hopefully it gives you an idea. And then, you know, go spread that. What I'm doing right there. Bam. Now it looks way too busy than it needs to. But anyway, I'll end it here. Like I said, thank you again. I hope you're keeping safe in this time. You know, all this stuff is going on. Keeping busy, learning new things. Stay safe, be good to each other, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, or night, whatever time it is for you. So, bye bye.